welcome back to City Skylines. Today we are saving the world, literally, because the entire world is dying. We have like so many problems at the same time. The world is actually dying. I don't know if we're gonna be able to survive this challenge of making the world self-sufficient. Like, look, the population is slightly steadying out. But I think that we're going to have to abandon a part of the world. I think that we're going to have to just start shutting down services in the parts that are abandoned because it's too expensive. And so, goodbye, fire department. There's nobody you actually have to take care of anymore. And you, recycling center. And, what else can we save money on? Disaster response unit? Nah, that's never necessary. These guys are still here, so no need to turn off their stuff. Down here, though, everything is off. Pumping service can be shut down safely. This international airport is literally not used anymore, so we're going to shut it down along with this airport. The world is becoming slightly more isolated. The Colossal Sports Precinct is actually making us a ton of money, and we're going to turn up the price for it. And that looks good to me. We're going to turn off the fire helicopter depot. We're going to keep the train stations running just because that's like the only way people can get around. Cargo hub's important to make some money, but we have to cut costs wherever we can. Ferry depot is very important. England's doing well. Ireland has been untouched. RT would be very glad. The Middle East and Saudi Arabia are having serious supply issues at this point. They have way too much supply and nobody is buying. India is beginning to have problems because of low land value, but there's not a ton we can do about it. And China is doing pretty well. The gulags have shut down pretty much completely. I think it may actually... yeah, we're gonna shut down the prison. I don't know what happens if you shut down the prison. Do they just throw the prisoners, like, onto the streets? I don't know. So, I think we've cut enough costs that the world will be profitable again. Not sure. Let's see. Should we shut down a hospital? One of these factories isn't actually making... oh no, that's making things. And that's making things. So I guess that's all good? Man, this is really a mess. Let's see if the finances balance out. Look at that, our debt is dropping. Well, our weekly debt is dropping pretty rapidly. Thankfully, there's still a lot of trade across the world. We're still sending materials across, which means that our production isn't completely dead. Oh man, look at that. The debt is just jumping back up again. But why? What is so expensive? Where is the money going? A majority of our money is being spent on what exactly? Roads. Road service expenses. Fire. Emergency services. And health. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our budget. We're going to drop our emergency services and we're going to raise health. Even though health is more expensive, it's more important to get people working in the low labor skill jobs. We're going to drop education, letting us raise health a little bit more. What else can we save money on? Industry area is extremely expensive. We're spending... holy moly, we're spending 3 times more than we're making from industry now. A full $30,000 every week. We can drop that seriously because we're already overproducing. There is nobody buying. Here we go, we've gone green. Very green. I think we just found the issue with our economy, and now we can start putting money where it needs to be. So let's upgrade some of our services again. We can turn police up. we can turn fire up. Maybe we can get the land value to jump back where it should be. I just have to keep it green. Barely green right now, but we are making money. We are making money. Okay, as long as we can keep it there, I wonder if we can just throw health up just a tiny bit further. Yeah, we have a lot of issues, but you know what? We may have just narrowly avoided complete economic death. And the population is starting to make a recovery, which is extremely good news for us, as long as we can keep the birth rate up. I wish I could subsidize that. Subsidize having children. Hey, if you have children, we will throw money at you because the world population is about to hit 0. It's an issue. But you know what? We're not doing too poorly. We're making money and the population is rising, but we can't survive another death wave. This population has to level out at about 30,000, because if it drops under 30,000, we're going to have to shut down a lot more services. And I'm not sure that we can afford to shut down more services. People will not be happy. They'll start moving out. And, I mean, moving out of the world when there's no escape. I don't know what they're doing to disappear, but I'm gonna assume that we have an epidemic that's pretty gruesome, because people are disappearing off of the earth in wide droves. Like, half of the world has disappeared. But the population is going up. Our finances are not, though. But you know what? As long as that population is moving, if we can push it back up to 40,000, we'd have a lot of security when it comes to finance. Why are we losing so much money again? Is it because I'm just throwing more money at the services? I mean, there's much less cargo now than we had before, so I think I can actually turn off one of the cargo hubs safely. I mean, that's gonna make these guys sad, but look, they all have so much. Maybe we have to shut down some of our oil production at this point. Maybe Texas needs to be... Maybe the United States should become an importer of oil. Yeah, we're gonna shut down, because that's going to stabilize things a bit more if we let the Middle East handle all oil production. Jeez, this is becoming like, nah. In the real world, the United States is actually picking up, and Canada, oil production. We actually don't import nearly as much as we used to, but in this world, we're doing the exact opposite. We're becoming more dependent on globalization, which is sad, but necessary for the survival of our citizens. In its place, we're going to start focusing on raising our population. Texas is going to become a bustling metropolis of both. We're gonna focus on residential and commercial will directly get the products that they need from that cargo hub. So it should work out perfectly in the end. I mean, even if we have a little bit of messiness. Fantastic. Okay, so the world is being balanced, the population is going up. We may have done it. We may have just saved the world. Barely, and the population isn't going up as quickly as it just was, which makes me fear another death wave, but seems to be recovering. What we need really is for the population to accelerate its growth. The more people there are in the city, the more people there are to have children. I mean, it's simple math, really. The population should accelerate itself. Madagascar is doing fantastic. They haven't even noticed anything's happened. They're just so remote and far away from the rest of the world. They've just been kind of chill the whole time. How does it look when it comes to Oh, we have so much excess electricity. Okay, so we can just drop that pretty much completely. How about water? We have a ton of excess water as well because of how many people moved out. 2 spots we can really just basically take money from without any repercussions. And I'm okay with that. Industry is now actually making more money than it costs, which is fantastic. That's good news for us. Being profitable is always good. So we're balancing the world. That's our current job. We're keeping everything balanced as it should be. Thanos would be very proud. We do have some sewage issues, which means that we're going to have to raise that water service to 65%, I think is going to do. And we are losing money, that is true, but right now I'm pretty confident that even with us losing money, we can manage to pull this off in the long run, because as the population goes up, that deficit should drop rather quickly. And it is. And there's no longer a deficit. Would you look at that? We're almost at 35,000 population, which means that we have really turned around. Look at that. Even without being connected to the outside world, we're almost growing about half as quickly as we were before, which, that's not fantastic, but you know, it's manageable. And with us making money, like I said, we can now start focusing on turning services back on. And when we turn services back on, it should make people move back into the areas and pay more taxes from being happy. I mean, there's not a whole ton we can do about everything right now. We just don't have enough people to support the entire world. But we're getting there. The abandoned areas are coming back, which is extremely exciting because it means that this may actually be sustainable. The West Coast is doing pretty fantastic. They're actually building up in Mexico. Is probably one of the strongest regions. They've experienced almost no population loss. They've been growing this entire time. The East Coast took a bit of damage, especially the Midwest. Quebec took some damage to the logging industry. But look at that, the population is now growing faster than ever. We're making money. I think that things have really turned for the better, and to capitalize on this, I think we can do a little bit of expansion into South America soon to try to jumpstart our growth. We want to be careful, though. We don't want to bite off more than we can chew. Ah, shoot. Should I expand? That's the question. I should probably get all the services in the world back online first. But how long is it going to take? Oh, these businesses are actually coming back. Wow, that's actually impressive. I didn't expect that. Does this actually make people happy? No, but it's probably important to have a disaster response unit, just in case there's a disaster. Now I just have to find all the different things I shut down in the world and turn them back on. Pumping service, I'm gonna leave off because we don't actually need that unless there's like a tsunami or something. And even though I'll probably forget to turn it on, that's fine. You know, I'll remember at some point. We can turn this back on, although that's pretty expensive to run. It's going to make industry very happy, and it's going to push the industry back in. What did I shut down in Asia? I shut down their disaster recovery unit, which we can turn back on. Look at that, as the population grows, we are actually repairing. We're fixing everything up. That's expensive, the lockdown, but that's basically our biggest criminal management system, so we need to get that back online at some point. But at the rate of population growth, I think we'll actually be able to handle it. Things are speeding up rather rapidly. The Congo is burning down! Oh, geez. Yikes. I guess this is a part of having worse fire coverage because I'm shutting everything down. But it looks like they're taking care of the situation well enough. Yeah, that's no good. Hopefully they can, pull themselves out of that mess. Europe is doing fantastically. They're a small area, so they don't really get affected by the global state of things as much. I haven't really built up Europe much because it's kind of messy to work with. Can we get the airports and stuff back online? Probably not. That's an absolute expensive money pit of death. It's so expensive to run that stuff. I don't know how many more things I left offline. I'll probably come across them at some point I shut that off, I shut that off. Looking for things I turned off. I think that's good enough. I mean, I think I've gotten pretty much everything. Oh, right here. Here we go. Right here in Quebec. I had that because of the tree industry, and yeah, helicopters are important to be able to take care of the larger wildfires. And now we can turn the lockdown back on. Very nice. The entire world now has somewhere to put their prisoners again, which is going to increase the amount of criminal justice we can perform by quite a bit. Our crime rate is extremely low right now, though. It's only 5%. Fire coverage, we really need to improve. But, oh, wow! We are making a lot of money. Is that because we just won a game, or is that just... That is because we won a game. But our bank is increasing and our population is increasing quickly enough that healthcare is going to get improved, fire service is going to be returned to normal, and I think that I can afford to bring the police force back to normal as well. This is going to make everyone across the world happy. It's going to increase property values, and it's going to get taxes to be paid more often, which should slowly undo the effects of the world's slight crisis we were in. Things are really turning around this episode. We actually have some residential demand. There aren't any abandoned buildings in America really anymore. There's a few commercial ones, but when it comes to... Oh, well, yeah, those ones... Oh, no, those are commercial. Okay, that one isn't commercial. Okay, hold that thought. Why aren't you moving into these areas? Oh, this is... Libya is really seeing a resurgence. Every single building in Libya was abandoned, but they are rebuilding. Okay, this has been a lot of money management this episode. Not a whole lot of building, but we may have just saved the world. Through budgeting. I feel like a very good world emperor right now. Doing good. Saving the world. Just in a day's work. And because of the added amount of people, the toll booths are working at full force once again. Look at that. They should be making some money for the world as well, although you can tell that the traffic is way lower than it used to be, just because the population is halved. I mean, it's coming back, but it was still pretty messy, to say the least. And everything is cut off still, just proving that, so nobody thinks I cheated. Fantastic. I was actually extremely nervous coming into this episode that things were just going to stay bad and that we were not going to fix them. But I think by cutting services intelligently and managing everything, we have really set things up for success. Although our industry is more expensive than it's making money right now. It's just not profitable. But we need the goods. I mean... We need those goods to be transferred into America and to go on to the commercial industry. We may just have to accept that industry is no longer profitable to us because there's no one to export to. It's sad. But before we end, there's one more thing I want to do. I don't know what tab it's under, though. It's under one of the tabs. Where is mail? Because the mail service, there it is, the postal service is going to make everyone very happy. So we're gonna have some local post offices just to increase the happiness of people in each continent. There we go, and we're gonna have a few in Africa because Africa is just absolutely oh, these are really cheap. Okay, great. This is basically just free happiness. It's really cheap and they're easy to just plop down. Gotta be careful not to bulldoze too many buildings since it's pretty hard to get those people back. We'll even have some postal service in the gulags. I mean, why not? So people across the world are now getting postal service. Quebec will get their own. Mexico will get their own. Nice! Everyone has access to mail now, which should increase property values even further. And a post-sorting facility is going to also go. We'll put one in... Oh, if we could put one right here, that's a great spot for it, actually. Oh no, there's too much traffic there. But there's space right here where I can fit it like that. Nice. And that'll just let us sort some of the mail, make things a lot more efficient. And we'll put a postal sorting facility in a few more areas. I do see that we're losing money, but I think we're gonna be fine. I think this is gonna be fine. Hopefully this is gonna be fine. I'm gonna say that until I accidentally completely destroy our finances again. There we go, Africa, and I'll give Asia one. I don't want to go too heavy because they're kind of expensive. They're 400 a week, but increasing citizen happiness is going to do us very well in keeping them from moving out. And look at that, everyone has postal service now. Isn't that exciting? Well, guys, this has been not the most exciting episode. However, I actually enjoyed it because we've basically saved the world here. We've fixed most of the issues that were plaguing us. The population is rising. Our finances are looking much more stable than they were before. And that's really what I was hoping for, to get things back on track. You guys were not very confident last episode, but I don't blame you. The population dropped by 50% in like one episode. Very scary. But things are getting better. Things are definitely turning around. We're about to hit 40,000 population. Confident in the series again. Next time, once everyone moves back into the abandoned buildings, we will be moving into South America, where we have a lot of land we can exploit, a lot of natural materials, and, of course, profits. Lots of profits can be made. I mean, populations are a big thing right now, though. Any money we can throw at our health service is well-spent money. How good is our health right now? Oh, yikes. Oh, that's really bad. Okay. Yeah, we really have to work on the health, don't we? Are there any health centers I shut down in my mass shutdown? No. Okay, so we really need to fix that. That's going to get our population up much faster if we have less people dying. Okay, well, that's for next time, though. Thank you all for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and don't forget to hit that notification bell, because next time I think we're going to be back to expansion. Things are not going too poorly. We are rescuing everything that was damaged. Bye!